Hey howdy hey everyone on YouTube, this is your friendly internet nobody here, Breadboard Gamer, bringing you video game news from all over the four corners of the internet, and then giving you my very humble opinions upon the articles. Today we're covering a wonderful piece from Nintendo Life, all about those cutesy lootsy little creatures we all want to keep in our pockets. That's right, Pokemon! Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is what we'll be covering today. The article is titled Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee will have extra requirements to take on gyms. You shall not pass. Subtitle. And it's by Ryan Craddock. Posted yesterday at 9:30 a.m. Apparently Nintendo Life wants to be super specific on when it's posted to the exact minute. Before I get into the article today though, I wanted to let you guys know I have watched the Let's Go release trailers and the extra trailers that have been coming out as it's been posted. And I know that in one of them, you go up to the Pewter City Gym, which is Brock's gym, for those of you who don't remember the city, and it requires you to have a certain type of Pokemon in it. Apparently that's not just in the very first gym, which kind of gets me on the edge, but it's not going to ruin the game, hopefully. We're going to read this article and see what else they say about it. And then I'll give my opinions on the piece like always. But I'm very skeptical this time. I'm really looking forward to this game coming out because I can finally put the Pokemon in my Pokemon Go app onto the system and play them like normal Pokemon, which is something I've always wanted to do. So we're just going to start the article now. It's pretty safe to say that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are shaking up the core franchise in ways that we've never seen before. From the way you catch your favorite critters to the way you travel around the lovable Kanto region, things are playing out a little differently this time around, and gyms are set to follow this trend too. Hopefully for the better and not the worse. Also, I want to point this out to you, Nintendo Life. This is a non-core game. It is a spin-off, a remake of the core Red and Blue games. And Nintendo, Pokemon Company, and Game Freak announced this earlier this year that it is going to release a new core game next year. Oh, thank you, Breadboard Gamer. You're welcome, Nintendo Life. Okay, continuing with the article. The official Japanese Pokemon website has recently been updated with some new information, and according to a translation by the folks over at Silicon Era, taking on gym leaders is about to get a whole lot tougher. And if you're a fan of the series, you'll no doubt be aware of the guide who stands in the front of every gym, usually offering players advice on how to best take on the leader waiting deep within. Well, he's about to play an even bigger role in proceedings, forcing you to meet certain requirements before you can enter. Okay. One thing to say here, and then I'll continue on, I promise. I will either be very surprised if he does not get memed on so hard when this game comes out. I mean, so hard. Because anything that makes a game dumbed down or makes you feel a little less smart by basically baby feeding you into the game, it could be a recipe for some serious memes. I'm just saying, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I've always hated this guy. I've only ever talked to him in a Pokemon game to get the water from him. He always gave me a free water which heals my Pokemon for 50 HP. So, only reason I ever talked to him. Okay. Now I got that off my chest, I'm ready to begin again. The translation suggests that these requirements will vary from having certain Pokemon types, levels, and plenty more. With Brock's gym being given as an example, in this gym, the guide will apparently ask you to present either a grass or water-type Pokemon. Oh, how wonderful! Before entering the main area. This was actually seen taking place in a screenshot released last month, but was never officially mentioned. And my god, did YouTube have a field day with this. It felt like they were forcing you to choose a Pokemon that would be super effective against the gym leader and make it really easy beating him. And I hope that's not what it is. I hope that it becomes more of a challenge later on. In one way, having an extra requirement to hit sounds quite exciting, almost like little side quests. These could present challenges that have you wandering around to discover new things or train up your party of monsters. On the other hand though, it sounds scarily restrictive. If gyms force you to make use of certain Pokemon types, this could mean that you'll have to sacrifice the party members you want for other random Pokemon just to tick a box. Hopefully players will be able to show the Pokemon to complete the challenge and then swap that Pokemon out again before taking on the trainers inside. I sure hope so, because nothing would irritate me more than being forced to use a Pokemon I don't want to use. Sometimes I like playing a game in Pokemon and choosing types that are strictly weaker against him for more fun, making it a harder challenge. I don't necessarily want to be force-fed a handicap to make it easier for me. And we're almost finished though, so I should bite my tongue a little bit more. It will be interesting to hear more about this with a little more clarification over the coming months, as we no doubt expect that fans won't be happy if they can't use the 6 Pokemon they want to. Thank you, Nintendo Life, for understanding that. What do you think of the potential Pokemon bombshell? Oh, I don't need to read the rest of that. I'll ask you that at the end of the video. Silly me. End of article. I hope you all don't take my remarks while I read the article the wrong way. I am genuinely interested in this game. I'm just a little worried that it will squander the potential that it has. A common trait of most spin-off Pokemon games like this is that they're never quite as good as the original series of games. It has massive potential to be great, with the catching system a lot more interactive, and the addition to transferring over our Pokemon from Go and finally playing with them in a more traditional Pokemon setting in turn-based combat is amazing to me, and I really am looking forward to it. But with the gyms locking players out, it could be good or bad. If it works one way, forcing players to accomplish these as goals, but not forcing you to fight a certain way against the gym leader, it could unlock a longer game with more of a challenge than what we've seen in the original series, that I may even want to see implemented in the main series. On the other hand, it could baby down the game a considerable amount, giving players a large and almost laughable advantage against the gym leader. If the latter of those two ends up happening, I can only fear that the Elite Four might get the same treatment. And holy Arceus, does that scare me. Imagine going to fight the Elite Four and then being forced to stop and asked, do you have 10 healing items, 10 revives, 10 full restores? And you must also have all your Pokemon level 80, plus have an Ice-type Pokemon for the Elite Four leader Lorelei, Flying or Psychic for Bruno, Psychic for Agatha, and Ice-type for Lance. No? Well, go get them all and then come back. I know it may be unreasonable to think this at the current juncture we find ourselves in, but if they baby you in the gym battles, there's no reason to think that they wouldn't do the same for the Elite Four. It also felt like, while I was reading this article, that Nintendo Life knows more than what they're letting on and was spinning this in a story a certain way to cover for the fact that they're a Nintendo publication and they're making sure they're covering their butts. I know it's weird to say that, but they are a Nintendo publication, and I know they wouldn't say anything too harsh about the company, and that worries me so much, because it just feels like they're spinning this a certain way to cover their butts in case fans get aggravated. And I've seen it just too many times before. And what we all have to keep in mind about this game, though, is that it's not a core game at all, like I said in the article. It's supposed to appeal to a more casual audience. In other words, more likely than not, the requirements are going to be a massive handicap, like I fear, giving to boost players' chances of winning the gym battles on the very first try. In return, a whole lot of other things other than the gym battles may be dumbed down as well, like Elite Four. I know that they've already said there's no wild battles anymore. It's all going to be like Pokemon Go, where you're going to run around and try to catch them. So there's no real difficulty traveling from area to area except for trainers. it's just going to be very dumbed down. And, I mean, with all this, all my grievances, though, I really think this will be a great time waster, though, and a nice fill-in until the next core game is released next year. It's going to give us so much to do with our Pokemon from Pokemon Go. It's going to give us the ability to fight other trainers online again with these Pokemon. It looks so... I can't really put it. Beautiful, in a way, that I'm very eager to get my hands on this game. I want to play with Eevee. I want to dress up its head and run around and ride a Pokemon and watch my Pokemon follow me, like in Heart Gold and Soul Silver and all those wonderful Pokemon games I've played online that have done emulation ROM hacks and stuff, where you get your little Pokemon following you. It looks really cute. I can see it adding more features similar to the Pokemon Emil or the caretaking system that's in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I can't remember what they called it. It was based off the Pokemon Emil, but it's a different system, and it can heal your Pokemon from status ailments and other stuff like that. So, I mean, it's all, to me, seems very fun, and it looks like it's going to be a great game, but super dumbed down to the point where it's not going to be much of a challenge for any veteran player, and that does kind of put me off, because I want a little bit of a challenge. I'd like it to be more than what it may be, because I really want to play this game, and I want it to be the funnest game it can be. However, if you dumb a game down way too much, not even a casual person is going to enjoy it as much as it could have been, and the potential could just be wasted here. And that's where I'm always scared with games like this, and I'm always cautious that they're going to dumb it down even more, and even more, and even more, because every RPG nowadays seems to do it. We got Skyrim was dumbed down from Oblivion, and Elder Scrolls Fallout 4 is dumbed down from Fallout 3. There's Pokemon, which dumbed down so much in X and Y, and then it dumbed it down even further in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I mean, they give you the O powers in X and Y, and then in Sun and Moon they gave you the way to take away poison and status ailments after battles. It was super easy to get through the game. It was so easy, it's not funny. This could be the beginning of what may be implemented in the next game too, which also frightens me, because I don't want the core game being affected like this. I want this to be a spin-off game, that if there's a really good portion of the game that makes it more fun and more challenging, then that gets implemented, not the dumbed down stuff that's super easy. So that's just my opinions though. Previously on my channel, I got my very first subscriber, and I want to thank you so much, Hatman, for choosing to follow me on YouTube. I appreciate your generosity, and very appreciative of the comment and the feedback you gave me. That comment said, taking on the challenge along with a joint handicap, I'm impressed. And it'll be great to see how you progress as well. I can hardly walk now with both my calves cramped up. Not long after filming, so I share in your pain. For those of you who don't know what in the world Hatman is talking about, in my previous video, which was very well done I might add, I participated in Hatman's push-up challenge. He did an open invitation to all his viewers, and I had the balls, the gall, the bravado to say, I accept your open invitation, and I did pretty well. Or I feel like I did pretty well, for me anyway. But I want to progress and do a lot better, so every Friday I'll be doing another video like that. And if you want to see that previous video, go watch it. Link will be in the comment section below at the end of the screen and all that stuff. And in that video, you will have a link to the great, the amazing Hatman himself, to his video, and I believe at the end screen I did a link to his channel. If I didn't, it might be in a card. I was pretty sure I put it either in a card or in the end screen. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have a card right here, not an end screen this time. A card that'll pop up with a link to his channel if you want to watch it. Or no, I won't. You need to go click on my previous video. That's better. Watch my video, then watch his, and subscribe to his channel and mine. We're both pretty good YouTubers. He's been at this a lot longer than me. I have seen all of his videos in his video list. Didn't watch them all yet. I've watched a few, but I at least look to see how long he's been on YouTube. He's been here for 2 long, hard years, plugging away, has over 200 videos, very good, very underrated. He is undersubscribed. He needs 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible, in my opinion. He deserves it. So, for any of you who want to be in this end segment, all you gotta do is subscribe to my channel or leave a comment. That's it. Just comment and subscribe. It would also help if you liked the video. Thank you very much. And that's what happened previously on my channel. That about ends it for this time, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I'd love it. If you did, you'd always end up in that end segment. You can also watch my previous video by clicking on the link here. Watch the playlist of all my videos this week so far, or check out my recent upload if you're watching this in the future. See you next time.